possibly the way he practices and applies himself. He's been a late developer, but he's doing that now. I've seen him in the practice table. He practices properly and hard, and he's reaping the rewards this season. Good player.
Okay. Well, listen, as you can see, our first game is just about to get underway. If you do not contact us here at Eurosport, you can get in contact on social media. Use the hashtag #HomeNations. Let's hand over to our commentary team. Joe Johnson is on his way to join Philip Studd.
And make no mistake, this is a dangerous draw for John Higgins. First round against the improving Jack Lisowski, as the guys have been discussing. It has been a solid season for him. I definitely think there has been progress, more disciplined on the table. He's been putting in a lot of hard work by all accounts off the table. And that semi-final run in Shanghai, his best ever showing in a ranking event. He's made a number of last 16s this season, quarterfinals at the English Open, the first leg of the home nations here on Eurosport and Quest. So he's going in the right direction. And as Higgins told Alan just now, very, very disappointed with the manner in which he bowed out to Mark King. King played exceptionally well at the Barbican against Higgins. Of course, it was a big upset at the time, but Higgins had a couple of really good chances in the decider and didn't take them as he normally would. But he did win his 29th ranking title right at the start of the campaign, Higgins. At the time, that put him second on his own in the all-time list behind Hendry. Of course, since then, Ronnie O'Sullivan's sublime form has taken him back in front of Higgins. Ronnie now has 31.
Thanks, John.
But I think Higgins has always been inspired by Ronnie O'Sullivan's success down the years, and it's pushed him to achieve even more. I'm expecting a close one today, Joe. Don't know about you.
Well, we were just talking about Jack Lisowski in the studio, and one thing I forgot to mention about Jack is that he has got a lot of patience now. Well, not a lot of patience, but more than what he had. And I think that's probably one of the attributes that he's going to need a little bit more of. He's got the safety play, good safety shot there. He's playing the master of the safety game in John Higgins, but Jack's got that game now, and I just think he needs to be a little bit more patient. Maybe he will be against Higgins because he respects him. It'll be interesting to see how John plays, because he was very down on himself after the last tournament. A little bit too much, maybe.
I think that's indicative of how much it still means to him in his 43rd year. He still loves to compete. And of course was involved in an extraordinary final here last year when he made 3 centuries in the first 3 frames against Marco Fu, and ended up only winning 1 more frame from 4-1 up. Lost 8 on the bounce. Shows you how well Marco was playing.
Well, he can clip the edge of these reds.
This way.
But chose to play off that left side cushion and land up to the red on the cushion.
Ollie, have you got it there just to...
And it's important to put it back in exactly the same place, because I think at this moment in time, he can see a red full ball. And that could make a difference if he misses the reds again this time. Yeah. That's as it was.
Yeah, I think that's too far.
Yeah, looks okay to me. Just a slight adjustment. a little pacey. Had he hit that red three-quarter ball, he could have left it on. Well, making contact with the black. May have left a red on for Jack Lisowski. If he could get up to the black. Well, no, couldn't get the red he was going for, or the one that I was looking at. And just short of the snooker. Again, he's caught it just a touch thick. Can't see enough of that red to pot it. And badly hampered over the yellow. Now then, I think he can see this red. Just.
One.
Yes, he didn't know where the cue ball was going. He knew it was going into the reds. He was hoping for a little flick off the reds. Caught them a little bit too full. But at least he's not snookered. And at least he potted the red. So the black too risky to take. So just looking at the safety.
John Higgins, one.
And that looks very good. Cutting off the left side of the reds. Jack could try and leave the cue ball on this black cushion. Can't see a way back to balk for him. Just play that three-quarter ball and leave the cue ball down this end of the table.
This meeting between Higgins and Lisowski is overdue. They've only met once before, and that was 6 years ago at the Welsh Open. Higgins prevailing by the odd frame, 4-3.
Yes, another good safety. Can't see the left side of the reds again. He could come off the left side cushion, land up to those three reds behind the black spot. He's looking at that shot now. right in the middle.
Foul and a miss. John Higgins, 4.
Wanted to hit the other side of that red, so he's going to have to try and make the adjustment. And he can see a red full ball, so he'd need to hit them this time. May even try and hit those 2 reds closest together to make sure that he hits one this time. Otherwise he's going to be in big trouble if he doesn't hit them. Well, again, good safety, but he may have forced Lisowski to take this long red on. He's got the cue power to bring that cue ball back down the table towards the baulk colours. This is a half chance. Well, decided to play safe, and his natural game is attacking. And I know he could have got that shot. May not have potted it, but he's quite capable of potting it. But he's covered the red. Could have been different, that. So a chance here for Lisowski if he can see the red. And he can.
One.
Couldn't have played it any better. So, first good chance to Jack Lisowski.
Eight. Nine.
Well, the pink looks good to develop the reds. Oh, that's a terrible shot he's played there. I thought he was going to play that with a little bit of topspin to develop
50.
those 2 reds together. Decided to screw back for that red to the right corner, I believe. That's a wasted chance, and he'll be disappointed with that. Hasn't got the cue ball close enough to the cushion, and this red is on to the right corner. Got to be aware of that red on the left side cushion.
Typical John Higgins safety.
Yeah, and that's because he didn't get a good safety shot last time round, just skimming off the reds. It was an easy safety shot for Lisowski. could be a chance here. Red to the left corner. Well, the problem if he plays this red is that it could knock one over that right corner pocket. And that's exactly what he's done. Fortunately, he's covered it. Yeah, great pot.
One.
But again, not a good safety from Jack Lisowski. Well, that's gone as bad as it could. Look at this great long pot again.
Green ball.
So just the snooker.
John Higgins, 1.
This frame already into its 14th minute. Lisowski achieved his highest ever ranking earlier this year of 33. He's currently at 38.
This is a terrible draw for him. Not a good one for Higgins either.
Foul and a miss. John Higgins, 4. One.
Well, he's okay. It's just about come out of balk. Another couple of inches would have been better. But it should be okay. And he could come down for those 4 reds just above the black.
Five. Six.
He'll have been practicing hard for this event, John Higgins.
13.
Seen Mark Williams win one of these events and Ronnie O'Sullivan.
14.
He'd dearly love to win this one.
Yes, and one of the beauties
21.
of this crammed snooker calendar these days is that you don't have long to dwell on your disappointments. As Higgins said to
22.
Alan ahead of this match, you just got to get back on the horse. Keep trying. Didn't have a lot of time to stew on the Mark King loss at the Barbican before he's straight back into action.
29. $30. 37. $38.
If he could get these 2 reds, wouldn't need those 3 reds behind the black.
45.
But he could leave an angle on the black here to try and disturb the reds. Maybe send one towards that right corner pocket.
Thank you. 46.
Well, that's what he intended.
53.
Still needs the black off this red. And it's very tricky. Whichever red he chooses, it's not easy to get to the black. He could roll this in along the cushion and then play the black to the middle or the corner.
54.
Now it looks like it's the corner, but he only needs the black, and he's just checking the scoreboard, just making sure what he needs to do. $45 points the difference. If the black went in, Lisowski would need snookers, and he's just contemplating whether to put a ball safe or take the black on. He doesn't fancy the black, so giving himself some insurance by playing the yellow to the cushion.
John Higgins, 54.
So a good break of 54, I should say, from John Higgins, putting him well in charge of this opening frame.
Yes, it was the poor safety from Jack Lisowski. And another good safety. A little fortunate to have left the cue ball over the green, but he sent it down into that vicinity.
Well, Higgins only needs this red, and the frame will be his, barring snookers.
Yes, Higgins tapped the table, say it was a good shot, but it turned out it wasn't. Left the red on.
He'll be a bit disappointed not to have got that, as long pots go. Wasn't the most difficult.
No, well, I don't think the red goes to the middle. He could take it onto the baulk corner. There's confirmation. Doesn't go to the middle. Well, that red was hugging the cushion all the way. And a good chance here.
And now the insurance ball, which Higgins placed at the side cushion, namely the yellow, becomes significant.
Well, the red over the middle pocket is in such a good place to bring the yellow into play. Stay on the blue. So he needs a nice angle on this red to play the cannon to the yellow. Doesn't want to come too far up the table. He hasn't come far enough. That's not a good shot, that from Lisowski. He may be able to play to the cushion with left-hand side to try and bring the yellow into play. I think it's worth playing that shot. Not too hard, just hard enough to be on the pink if he misses it.
70.
Got hold of it too much. And he's got to get a colour.
.28 behind with 27 left. If he misses this colour, he'll need a snooker.
How's he got himself in this position? Good pot. Good pot and good kiss. Although this is still a very difficult shot.
24.
But if he drops it in dead weight, he's on the green. Could be a frame winner. He's got to give this yellow every chance of going in just by playing it slowly. Doesn't have to worry about the cue ball. He's going to be on the green. That's the way to play it. Good shot.
It was a good shot. It was much trickier than it appeared on your screen, particularly with the extension on the rest. And had he missed it, he was almost certain to be losing the frame. As it is, what a chance to steal.
Oh, that sprung off the cushion, that cue ball then. It sprung off that right side cushion. And look where it's landed. I can't believe how that came off the cushion there.
Yeah, we haven't seen too many unusual bounces in the last few weeks, but that certainly was very lively.
Well, it could cost him this frame.
Well, I think
Lisowski, 29.
That was partly missed by Lisowski, not only because it was tricky cueing, but because of the sheer disappointment of having landed on the cushion, because he missed it by a long way. Just couldn't believe that the cue ball had landed where it did. But at least he didn't leave it. So 16 the difference with 22 on. Higgins only needs the brown to leave Lisowski requiring a snooker.
Couldn't have played that one any better, and that's what he played. That's what all that side was on the cue ball, to try and stop the cue ball there behind the black. And that was a great shot.
Tough to hit, tough to leave safe.
Got to be aware of the free ball as well. Yeah, good shot. Well played.
That's maybe an example of where Lisowski has reined his game in somewhat in recent times. I can remember occasions where he wouldn't have hesitated to take that brown on. Played a good safety. Oh, there's a bit of luck for Higgins.
Oh. Yeah, you need luck at this game. does it cut to the middle? I don't think it does. Well, it's a tough shot, but if he gets it, he'll be on the blue. This is where he can make up for that big bounce off the cushion. Where's that? Brown? Oh.
4.
Well, he raises his hands. I'm sure that makes John Higgins feel better.
Well, that's a fluke and a half. Should win in the frame.
Nine.
Oh, didn't hold back there, did he? What a good positional shot.
Black hanging invitingly over the pocket. Well, it's been
15.
a long frame. It looked for all the world as though it was going to John Higgins for most of it. But it's Jack Lisowski, courtesy of a huge fluke, who steals it on the black. In its 29th minute, the opening frame goes the way of the underdog. John Higgins trailing by 1 frame to 0. First of 4 to go through. Welcome back to Glasgow. John Higgins will be wondering how he lost that opening frame. Made a break of 54 after an extended bout of safety. And had chances to kill it off on a couple of occasions, but in the end, Jack Lisowski winning it. Courtesy, it has to be said, of a monumental fluke. Although the positional shot from blue to pink will live in the memory.
Yes, Higgins should have won it earlier. Had a relatively easy long red. And then the fluke doesn't come into play.
Well, here is the red, and had he potted this, Lisowski needed a snooker. But as flukes go, Joe, this was right out of the top drawer.
Yeah, it was, but to be fair, he should have potted it in the corner. But as I say, he never gets a chance at that fluke. If Higgins pots that long red, the game's over. And that's basically what you're saying to yourself when you're sat in a chair. You're thinking, well, yeah, OK, he's fluked that red, but he shouldn't have had a chance at it. Down to me missing the red. Because up until that point, he was in full control. Well, that's turned out nice. That's not how he played it, but he'll take it. Got very close to the enough there. Playing to hit the cushion at least a foot up. And check the cue ball back down to the balk area, but he got to the angles of the pocket. Well, drifted in nicely behind the green, but easy enough to come off the left side cushion and land up to this It's red nearest the left corner. Well, very nearly came across that red, which would have left it on. And that wasn't a good escape from Jack Lisowski. He may have left this red to the right corner pocket. Chance to go up towards the blue. That's a let off. Higgins played the cue ball to the cushion there. Very close, but that's a red he should have got. But played that cue ball to the middle pocket just in case he missed it. Had the red gone in, easy blue. It didn't, it's safe.
John Higgins talked about his game malfunctioning after he lost to Mark King at the UK Championship.
Yeah, I think he was a bit too hard on himself. Disappointment of losing and all that. He's a long way from finished, John Higgins. I mean, when he played in the English Championship, he probably played the best snooker. I know he lost to Ronnie O'Sullivan 4-3, but it was a fantastic match, and it was only down to Ronnie O'Sullivan knocking in a great red in the final frame. That was the difference between the two. Had he won that, he could have gone on to win the tournament.
He could, and let's not forget the last season, he won £300,000 in a fortnight, winning the China Championship and the Champion of Champions, both invitational events.
Got to the final of the World Championship,
where he was well ahead of Selby before Mark Selby did what Mark Selby does, fight back.
So a long way from finished. In fact, still playing one of the best snooker in the world at the moment, among Mark Selby, Ronnie O'Sullivan, Mark Williams. A class of 92, as they say.
Yeah, the thing about O'Sullivan's snooker at the moment is that he's putting everyone in the shade, isn't he? Not just because he's winning tournaments, but the way in which he's winning them, as Alan McManus mentioned ahead of our match today.
Well, the kiss on the blue has left a chance at reds, but none of them easy. And very difficult to get to a colour from any of them. The one above the pink, the one down the right side of the table. So just the safety again. And bringing that cue ball over the right side of the table makes things difficult for Lisowski. No easy path back down to the balk area. Well, sometimes you have to have a go. And he was trying to screw the cue ball out of danger. Now, has he got away with it? Because he missed it by a long way. Maybe able to show you that one again. But he was screwing the cue ball. Look at this screw on the cue ball here, but he missed it by such a long way. They could have gone anywhere. have chosen to go safe. Doesn't want to go 2-0 down, and if he plays a shot here, that's risky, and misses it. It could be 2-0. Playing the safety. Well, that's a good kiss on the yellow. Didn't quite get hold of the cue ball as he wanted. Again, the safety, only reaching the baulk line. It's not good. Didn't leave anything, but he allowed Higgins to get a good safety shot. Keeping the pressure well and truly on Jack Lisowski. And that's a good reply. No easy path back to baulk here. Well, you could see him pointing to the two reds there. Possible plant to the right corner, but where's the cue ball going to go? He's found a path, and what a shot that was. Had to screw away from the black. That was a terrific safety shot. Look at this again. Just missed the black and got that gap between the reds, which is what he played. Full marks for that one.
Certainly knows his way around the table, doesn't he, Higgins? And there was a little tap with his cue on the floor there from Lisowski. Worked that out brilliantly. Well, I don't think it's quite the match we were anticipating so far. As we know, Lisowski likes to get on with things, and Higgins, terrific scorer, but it's been quite tactical, isn't it?
Well, it's nice to see that Lisowski's competing in the safety. And that's what he needs to do if he wants to progress into the top 16. He's got to learn that patience game and good safety. He's got the rest of the game, we know that. The break building, the shots, the getting in shots. He's got it all. What he hasn't got at the moment is probably the patience, which is showing today. I think he has to do against somebody like Higgins. But he's been in trouble quite a few times and he's thought his way out of it. Okay, a couple of shots ago he went for what you could consider a crazy one, but he was screwing the cue ball back to the baulk area. And he's got that shot in his armour. He's got that shot in his arsenal. Anytime he wants to try and play a fantastic shot, which he may have to do here. A big, long screw back. Let's have a look. Yes, he's going for it. And again, he screws that cue ball back out of danger, but where's the red's going to finish? And he holds his hands up because he could have left something easier, but he did screw the cue ball out of danger. And that's what I'm saying about these kind of shots. Not many people have got that shot where they can screw the cue ball back down into the baulk area. Oh, that's a terrific safety shot from Higgins. Judged that to perfection. What a shot that was. He played it in behind the yellow. He had just the right amount of left-hand side on the cue ball. Wonderful shot. Look at this again. Just the right amount of side and just the right speed. Well, it was an hit and hope, and he hasn't got away with it. So great chance this for Higgins. I don't think he can get to the black this time round, but he can get to the pink and then the black. Well, he had him. He had him in a right boiler there.
Translation, please.
Yeah, I'll tell you what the translation is. You've no idea what to do. And you just hit and hope.
What's that got to do with a boiler?
Well, it sounds good, doesn't it? He's in a real boiler. Decided to play for the black, and that was a nice little shot to stun him between the gap there. That could have gone wrong. He caught the black, but very thin. Took the risk, and it's paid off. Look at the reds now.
Well, all of this generated by that wonderful snooker that Higgins laid just now. And rich pickings indeed here. Great chance to level the match. Almost too many options.
Well, black tied up, so he's going to have to concentrate with the pink, unless he can get the blue back down on it to its spot.
Nine.
Well, he's on the green. Just overscrewed it.
12.
Just getting used to these superfine cloths again. Hasn't been really in amongst the balls in this frame. Not ideal at the moment. May play for the yellow here.
13.
Well, if you can get the blue back on its spot, that really would give him a frame-winning chance with the blue and pink available.
$18. 19.
Well, tried to play with a lot of right-hand side on the cue ball to get the right side of the blue, but left it the wrong side.
$24.
Doesn't need to do anything with the cue ball here, because the pink will go to the right corner.
25.
The red just above the black is available. What a picture of concentration that was.
$31.
Yes, he would have been frustrated in the extreme to have lost the first frame, which he seemed in control of throughout. So looking to make amends here.
32.
Well, he made a 54 in the first frame, but missed that frame ball red. I mean, you wouldn't say it was easy, but you'd have fancied Higgins to pot it. Well, he's still got a couple of easy reds, and then all the rest of them are covering each other. Gonna need perfect position to be on one of the reds after this one.
39.
Just a little heavy. Could have got a big bounce, but he's the right side of the blue. He played for the pink, so he could disturb some of the reds. He's got the angle on the blue to play for that open red to the right of the pink. Well, that's very unfortunate. He was trying to develop those two reds closest to the right corner. Nearly caught the red, which would have left him on the other red. So it's just the safety. Maybe try and get the cue ball in behind the yellow. We've been there before.
John Higgins, 44.
So again, John Higgins in with a useful break, but not a decisive one. How did he manage to avoid everything there? Unlucky. But that's a mistake from Lisowski and could cost him the frame.
Yes, he's opened some more reds up.
One.
Yeah, caught those two reds much too thick.
Seven. Eight.
Yeah, just overscrewed that a little. Wanted to be closer to the black, but just need to drop it in because there's a red behind the black that will go. So 59 points the lead,
50.
but still plenty left on the table. Still needs a couple of reds. Yeah, that's a good shot. That's a cracking shot, and that should win him this frame. The black needed and Lisowski can tie, so one more red needed. He played that red along the cushion very confidently.
Just one more red then. And it should be one apiece.
23.
Just get it. And that's all he needed.
24.
Just concentrated on the red.
And Lisowski now needs 3 snookers.
Brownlow. John Higgins, 24.
Lisowski just checking the scoreboard, and now he's nodded his head to referee Lisowski. And so John Higgins has levelled the match, helped by a break of 44. Safety error from Lisowski, one apiece. Last year's beaten finalist John Higgins has levelled up with Jack Lisowski. 2 lengthy frames, quite a lot of tactical stuff. Higgins has made the break so far, 54 in the first in a losing cause. Lisowski taking it on the black, helped by a fluke. And then 44 from Higgins in the second, followed by a safety mistake from Lisowski. So 1 each. The first of 4, of course, goes through to round 2. And this just their second meeting, 6 years after their first.
Yeah, what a game he played there. Higgins really dug deep, played some really good safety. And never looked like losing it. I don't think he got a chance in that last frame, Lisowski. There was a lot of safety play there. Oh, well. He's going to be fortunate to not leave anything here, and he's left something. And the shot he just played there, I don't think was on. He was trying to get the cue ball back to the baulk area, but I don't think it was on.
1.
Well, he'll be having concerns because he's not competing in the safety. He's not getting any chances, Lisowski. Got into the cue ball too much.
6.
Played for the 2 reds to the left of the pink. And he's a little fortunate that he's on this red to the right corner, which is going to lead him to the black. Just got hold of the cue ball too much, and the side spin just took it past these 2 reds. But he's left him on this red to the right corner. Nicely done.
7.
And now another very good chance for Higgins. And he's just got to sit there. This is a safety. I mean, there was no path. There was absolutely no path. He caught the second red full in the face nearly.
14.
He totally missed it, that one, Lisowski.
15.
And Higgins getting stronger. As I say, desperately wants to do well in his home country.
23.
As Williams and Sullivan had done in theirs.
Looking to win his 30th ranking title 23 years after his first.
41.
That was the Grand Prix back in 1994.
Yeah, got to catch up to O'Sullivan again, hasn't he? He was leading the way on his own, and then all of a sudden, as you said to me on his way here this morning, O'Sullivan's won 3 ranking events for the first time ever in his career.
48.
In one season, yeah, that's a surprise, isn't it?
Well, I didn't know that until you mentioned it to me.
We've still got half the season to go. O'Sullivan well
49.
past the £500,000 mark for prize money now with the £170,000 cheque that he collected for winning the UK. And there are £425,000 available this year, a record prize for the world champion at the Crucible.
44.
Incredible.
Oh, big kick. Big kick. And he'll be relieved that the red dropped, because it might not have done.
Yeah. And he's still on the black, fortunately. Now, this is so unfair. When this happens, the red straightened up a little and could have stayed out. Didn't deserve that.
Higgins not a convert as yet, at least, to this new chalk that seems to have had a big impact in reducing kicks.
52.
Albeit that some people say it's increased the likelihood of a miscue.
Yeah, never tried it yet. I'll let you know. But that last shot he just played there, Higgins, potting the black and getting the half ball kiss on the red to leave it on to the corner, was a lovely little shot he played. If he catches the red too thick, he's not on anything. And he's getting into his stride.
60.
So still needs this red and a black, or a colour, and another red, depending on what colour he takes here.
61.
So one more red needed after this pink. He's just checking that the pink won't go to the back of the pack. Now he's hoping that the pink doesn't spot.
A moment, please, John.
If it spots, he's not on anything. Oh, wait for this. Well, he couldn't have envisioned the pink going there. Maybe the red to the left of the pack will go into the right corner.
Yeah, needs to go. Well,
that makes things easier. Thank you, ref.
Yeah, where Leo Scullion was initially trying the pink, it wasn't in a direct line with its spot, which of course it needs to be. So if it can't be in a direct line, it needs to go behind the pack.
Thank you. 67.
Well, that's made a seismic difference, hasn't it?
$68.
So snooker's required now. Just 67 left. And Jack Lisowski counting the cost of that botch safety.
$75. $76.
Higgins eyeing the 20th century break of
83.
the season for him. Made 50 last season, closing in on 700 now.
$84.
And he's certainly bossing this match at the moment.
Yes, Lisowski never got a chance in the last frame. Hasn't had one at all in this frame.
Size break just 29.
Well, didn't score
92.
at all in the last frame, and it doesn't look like he's going to score in this frame either.
99.
Oh, what a shame.
John Higgins, 99. And the free.
So near to another century, but he'll make do with 99. John Higgins doing all the scoring at the moment. Breaks of 54, 44 and that 99. And he thoroughly deserves his 2-1 lead hit.
Thank you. Frame 4. John Higgins to break.
John Higgins looking pretty good in his bid to go one better than he did 12 months ago here in Glasgow and win the Scottish Open. 99, 44, 54 his breaks thus far. Jack Lisowski fluked a ball on his way to pinching the first on the black, but he hasn't had a look in since then. He's not troubled the scorers in frames 2 and 3. Higgins thoroughly dominant, and there's the confirmation. 96% outstanding, 84, a little bit on the mediocre side. Well, as has his safety bin, Joe.
Yeah, he had nothing on the cue ball there.
Now, over on the player, extraordinary match between Martin Gould, who, of course, made the quarterfinals of the UK Championship last week, losing to Ronnie O'Sullivan. Well, he's not yet potted a ball in this match, and Noppon Sankam, well, he was on for a 147 in the first frame, and he made a 144 break in the second, and he's at it again in the third.
One.
Yeah, great snooker. From Noppon. And this guy's not playing bad either. Good red to the baulk corner from a poor Lisowski safety, you've got to say. Didn't have anything at all on the cue ball. Should have checked it back down the table, but didn't have anything at all on it.
8.
And now Higgins straight in again.
So that's, oh, another kick there
9.
for Higgins by the looks of things, but hasn't done any harm. Well, cue ball closer to the cushion than he would have liked, but that sounded clunky to me.
Yeah.
So Noppon Sankam next door has had a 90-odd break and 2 centuries.
14.
1-2-2 in the third frame. Martin Gould must feel as though he's not started yet.
$15.
I think that's one of the reasons why many people, Joe, are now earmarking Ronnie O'Sullivan as the greatest of all time, greater even than Hendry, because of the strength in depth of the game now, which is unprecedented, isn't it? When you look at a player like Noppon Sankam, who can take Martin Gould, a quarter-finalist at the UK last week, to the cleaners in the first 3 frames, it shows just how many players are playing at such a high standard.
Superb I wish I could say it. Superb standard. And you're right, there's so many people that can play it. This game at the highest level. There's nobody safe. Absolutely nobody. Including Ronnie O'Sullivan. And that's as well as he's playing. But it's nice to see Higgins playing well again.
38.
That 99 break in the last frame. He could have made a century easy enough by playing for the open red, but decided to take that red down the cushion.
Yeah, 39.
So he's feeling confident again. Yeah, got a slight kick there. Overscrewed that one. I think he was intending to kiss the red that he just went past, which would have left him nicely on the red to the left middle. But the way he's feeling at the moment, you fancy him to pot anything he goes for. Just as I said that, what happens?
46.
The curse of the commentator strikes again. Still, it's a handy lead now. Jack Lisowski has got to start making something happen here. That's a long time to be without a pot.
And didn't have one to go for there. Just the safety, of which he's played a very good one. I expected him to pot this, played it for the blue, but played it in such a way that he wasn't leaving anything, and he missed it. Just not leaving Lisowski with any chance whatsoever to go for a pot. His safety has been that good. It's got to go behind the green, otherwise he's in trouble. Now, this is very similar to the red that he missed in the first frame. Very similar. I don't expect him to miss it twice.
One.
So, second bite of the cherry.
And this is in danger of being the third straight frame where Jack Lisowski has failed to score.
Hasn't had a chance though, Philip. The safety's been that good.
8.
And he can't score when Higgins is at the table.
Nine.
Still 83 there, but Higgins not too far away from putting himself within a frame of round 2.
Yes, red colour red. Choice of reds to play for. Take the white towards the pink. Well, didn't quite hit the cue ball hard enough.
23.
Red goes easy enough. Well, had that cue ball gone in the middle, Lisowski could have won.
As it is, another frame has gone
30.
west for Lisowski. Another frame in which he's failed to score.
31.
And because he's had so little table time since he pinched the first frame on the black, it's going to be hard for him, even if he does get a chance. Well, that's dominance, isn't it? Higgins monopolising the table, playing great safety, getting in and scoring. It's a pretty irresistible combination.
38.
And every little thing he does now is magic.
Didn't know you were a police fan, Joe.
Oh no. Only when I'm driving home.
44. 45.
This is real dynamite stuff. Should have made a century in the last frame, and he's going to make up for this frame.
Martin Gould has finally scored some points on table 2, but he's got an awful lot to do against Noppon Sankam, who leads 3-0. John Higgins was actually whitewashed by Marco Fu in a European Tour event a few years back. 4-0 without scoring a single point.
Now that's just confirming what you were saying, Philip, about the standard nowadays. Anybody can do this to anybody, given the chance. Can't make a century, but he can certainly clear the table, make up for the last frame.
67, 68.
Well, if his game was, in his words, malfunctioning at the UK, it
70.
seems to be back in full working order now.
Looking good, isn't he? I actually think that O'Sullivan and Higgins and Williams are spurring each other on. You know, you're not leaving me behind.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the case. They've got a huge amount of mutual respect, and their longevity at the very top of the game is outstanding.
82.
All 3 of them ranking event winners this season, all 3 of them well into their 40s now. And still playing.
88.
Well, certainly in O'Sullivan's case, and
the frame
with Higgins and Williams as well, something close to their very, very best. Well, Higgins is in complete charge here. Jack Lisowski's got a mountain to climb now. He's got to win the remaining 4 frames. It looks unlikely. He trails 3-1.
Thank you. Frame 5. Jack Lisowski to break.
Well, it's been all John Higgins since Jack Lisowski, helped by a fluke, took the opening frame on the black. So much so that Lisowski has not scored a single point since then, and he's now got to win the remaining 3 frames of this match to turn things around, which would be tough under any circumstances, but when you've had so little table time, doubly so.
Yes, and he's left a chance here at the right corner pocket. If he leaves it low on the black, he wouldn't leave that at the red on. Chance to win. And right in.
1.
And he's left the cue ball low on the black.
That's the shot of the man who's been stroking in the breaks, isn't it?
Beautiful shot.
And if Higgins does the business in this frame, he will be joining Andy and the team in the studio. So if you've got any questions for the Wizard of Wishaw, hashtag Home Nations is the place to go.
9.
Well, he'd like to leave that red to the left of the cue ball. But didn't quite have the angle to leave that red. The reason I say 16. That, it's because he could have gone into the pack of reds and still been on this red.
17.
Wrong side of the blue. Still got a loose red he can play for. Well,
22.
A little bit of pressure with this one because he's could be leaving a red on to the left corner. Now he can drop the cue ball through. Well,
Higgins 22.
A chance for Lisowski. His first pot for 3 frames.
Surprising miss from Higgins, given how well he's been queuing.
One.
Just a little too hard on the blue. Well, Higgins had this shot, but there was a bit of pressure there because of the red to the left. Now, if he can get the right side of the blue, try and open the reds up.
4.
He's just come a little too far for this red for comfort, so he may play up for one of the baulk colours.
5.
Nice shot. And the perfect angle on the brown to go into the reds. And if he can miss the pink and get into that gap between the pink and red, they should split beautiful. He knows where to hit them. It's just getting the right amount of stun on the cue ball and left-hand side. It's a tricky little shot, but if he can find that gap, could win this frame. Taking the more difficult yellow. Didn't find the gap of the reds.
7.
The brown looked absolutely perfect. Still unfortunate not to be on a red.
Right, Lisowski, 7.
But a good safety. That's a good shot. Higgins allowing the referee to have a look.
Thanks, John.
Tap on the table from Higgins, just acknowledging that good safety. Well, can't really come off. Well, he's playing the 2 cushion escape. But I thought he could have come off the right side cushion and landed up to the red next to the pink. Now, is this a free ball? Is this a free ball?
4.
It is.
Free ball.
So another good chance. Sounded heavy.
One.
Well, if you can come down for that red just above and to the left of the black, into the right corner pocket, he's got the angle on the brown to be able to play that shot. That should stand him in good stead. Well, I don't know why he didn't play for that red.
5.
It looked a natural shot just to screw down the table for that red just above the cue ball into the right corner. That was a poor positional shot.
Right, Lisowski, 5.
He'll be disappointed there. Lisowski, that was a really good chance. Nice little rub on the brown. Leaves the cue ball closer to the cushion. This could be close. Seemed to spring off the ball cushion there. Full ball kiss on the green. Leaves a chance for Lisowski, but plenty of pressure attached to this shot, especially if he plays for the black. Well, he couldn't take the risk, but he's pushed a red over the corner. He needs a bit of luck. Now, all depends if he's straight on this red. No, he can get to the black from that. So dangerous moments these for Jack Lisowski. That's a let-off. That's a real let-off because I fancied him for that black, for that red, and finishing on the black. Well, this is a bit tougher, this red. If he decides to take it on. Well, the problem is, if he doesn't take it on, Lisowski could be playing the shot next time round, so he is taking the red on. Cracking shot. That's a Ramtoozler.
Which, for the rest of you, is a very good shot.
That was a cracker, wasn't it? And Higgins special.
Needs another good one, though, so close to the side cushion.
Yeah, the blue looks easier than the brown. But that's another very good shot. In fact, he's hit it too well. Unless he got a big bounce off the cushion there. Maybe he did. I can't see him being that far out with his position. Difficult to tell in slow motion if he got a big bounce. But he's out of position. And a let-off for Lisowski.
John Higgins, 5.
Oh, another cracker.
1.
And very unfortunate not to be on a colour. What a brilliant pot that was. Full marks for taking it on in the first place. But very difficult to avoid everything. Well, you would have expected that the kisses could have been kinder.
7 out of 9 successful from long range for Higgins today.
John Higgins, 1.
Well, Lisowski resisting the temptation to take that red on to the left corner. Good to see, really. Chance to get in behind the blue. Just caught it a little bit too thick. He was going to take it on and then thought better about it. Could have been his last shot had he missed it. And that's a very good safety. Has it just come out? Allowing the referee to have a look.
Thanks, John.
Can he just see that red to the right of the black? Looks like he can. Just. Now that's a good safety, unless you can see this red behind the pink, the one closest to the right corner pocket. That's a very good safety. Trouble again here. I don't think you can see that red, so may have to come off the right side cushion and land up to those reds near the black cushion. Well, don't forget it's hampered over the blue, so even if he could see the finest edge hampered over the blue, you wouldn't fancy him to hit that.
Nice, Jack.
Can he hit it? He got very close. He got very close.
John Higgins, 4.
Let's see how close he gets to the pink.
Can you bring that up?
He can get a bit closer to the pink. Oh, and that was so close to it.
It's a horrible shot, this, isn't it?
He's over the blue. He's got to come over a bit more.
Olivia Martial doing the marking and helping Leo Scullion here get the cue ball exactly where it was. So it needs to come forward a bit.
Backwards a bit.
You touch that way, yeah.
Backwards a touch.
Forwards as we look.
This way.
There is Olivier. Radiology nurse when he's not refereeing snooker matches.
It's the finest of ages, isn't it?
Well, he's in serious trouble if he misses it this time, because he will be warned, because he can see a red full ball.
Yes, and this is one of the unique elements of snooker. Jack Lisowski is actually making this shot harder for himself by telling Leo Scullion it needs to move more to the left as we look, which means he can see less and less of the red.
Well, I think I'd be coming off that right side cushion here, because a big target to hit them. Well, he's thinking of playing the same shot, and no, he isn't. Well, what's wrong with coming off the right side cushion?
Went for the pot instead. That was all or nothing. And he's left one.
He has left one. He's covered the black up. But he could have played that shot, the next shot, if you like, if he didn't hit the reds coming off the right side cushion.
One.
So Higgins doesn't normally mess up when he gets this kind of chance to win the match.
Seven.
Quick glance at the scoreboard tells him he's 19 points in front. And all these reds available. Or enough of them to take him over the winning line.
I think John Higgins will be pleased with this display. It's been a good combination of excellent safety and good scoring. Hasn't missed much. Long pot success, very good, and his overall pot success outstanding in the mid-90s. Just a case now of putting the finishing touches on this match, getting through to round 2. Just a reminder, he'll be joining us in the studio. So if you've got any questions, hashtag Eurosport. And of course, next up is the man who deprived Higgins of the title last year with that spectacular 8-frame winning run.
21.
Marco Fu.
What a fantastic match that was, Philip. Higgins winning the first 3 frames with 3 centuries.
And then Fu making a century for 3-1. Higgins going 4-1 up, and that was the last frame he won. Extraordinary final. Still had a big party, though, Higgins, at his place afterwards. In fact, he invited Marco, but Marco's a teetotaler. So he kindly turned down the invitation to party with John and his friends.
28. $29.
41 the difference, 51 there, so one more red after this pink should do it.
Yes, and look how he left himself on the pink with an absolutely perfect position to get to that red by the black.
35.
Yeah, if he's the other side of the pink, he can't get to a red. And he's thinking of these things all the time. Made absolutely sure of that red. And that cements his win. Just checking. 2 snookers already needed. That's a shake your hands black, that one.
Yeah, Jack will be disappointed
43.
today. 1 or 2 loose safeties early on allowed Higgins to really get a grip of this match. And Lisowski has been playing some good stuff this season. But it's not his day. As Joe mentioned, he could scarcely have had a tougher draw. First up. That black
Higgins,
surely doesn't
44.
matter. There is the
And the
handshake.
match.
So John Higgins will be delighted to have got that disappointing loss to Mark King at the UK Championship out of his system. That was a very solid all-round performance from the 4-times world champion. He'll be delighted with the start he's made here at his home tournament. He's beaten Jack Lisowski resoundingly by 4 frames to 1.